We have Pooja Advani, my Leo friend, who's volunteered to lend her voice to read out Leo Woman with us. Hello, Pooja. Thank you for joining us here for the recording.
Hi, Chetan. How are you?
Very well. I know you have read this book before, and I want to ask you a question. You know that the book talks about each gender that goes into aggressive and passive. Please tell me, how do you think you would describe yourself? Are you aggressive or are you passive?
I would say it depends on the situation, Chetan. I could be passive-aggressive or aggressive-passive. As your book says, the ratio is 4:1. So, it would really depend on what you're discussing.
So it talks about 4 women being aggressive and 1 being passive. I do understand that we are all aggressive situationally, or we are assertive when it is required, or when we are provoked. My question is, are you generally in your face aggressive, कि मेरे साथ पंगा मत लेना kind of aggressive, or are you generally very easygoing and only get pissed off or charge up when somebody really rubs you the wrong way?
I don't like the term aggressive. I would rather put it more dignified and more assertive.
See, I can see a lot of diplomacy again here with the Leo woman. I'm going to have another quick 2 questions for you. I've said this in my book repeatedly, that a Leo woman possesses unmatched style and panache. You're also most likely to see a Leo woman being extremely talkative, and usually the conversation will involve about herself. So it's like me, myself, and I. Tell me, do you see such qualities in you, or have people or your friends around you pointed out that you may or may not be like that?
It's always good to receive compliments. You feel good about yourself. There's no harm feeling good about yourself, and it always makes the other person feel good as well. I would love to be called a gorgeous. You're such a gorgeous woman. I compliment my other women as well.
But on the record and for the record, each time that we have met Pooja, she has been always very elegantly dressed. Oh, I'm so happy to have a very honest and sincere Leo woman with us, who's going to read out Leo woman very soon.
Thanks, Chetan. Leo woman, razor-sharp golden eyes glittering in the dark, watching each and every moment of the query, every muscle tense, every sinew packed with power waiting to be unleashed as she prepares to move in for the kill. An embodiment of grace, energy, talent, and unlimited potential, the majestic Leo woman is Jacqueline Onassis meets Mata Hari. An old mix of pride and amity, loyalty and coyness, and passion and compassion. The Leo girl craves for the spotlight. Known to make bang-on appearances, the lioness in a human garb is hard to miss. How can you identify a Leo woman in a crowd? When it comes to Leo women, the aggressive and passive categories are in a 4:1 ratio, with both types being extremely assertive who love to have their way with things. They would give in or be submissive to someone only if they are deeply in love with that person or have a great respect for him. It's not difficult to spot a Leo woman in a crowd. A Leo woman will possess unmatched style and panache. You're also likely to see her talking endlessly, mostly about herself. When in a group, she will be the principal talker and the conversation will revolve around her. I have observed that most Leo women have a rather prominent jawline. Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, Sridevi, Manisha Koirala. Get the point? One peculiar thing I have noticed is the shape of their eyes. They are mostly almond shaped, with somewhat heavy eyelids, quite like a Gothic painting. Commanding, questioning, yet friendly, her eyes will follow you everywhere, forcing you to take notice of her. They have a unique sense of smell, and if your aftershave or cologne is right, it does help to a great extent. Things like aromatherapy were either created by her or for her. What are the key features of a personality? A Leo woman is materialistic, hence will not be satisfied with ordinary living. She'll of course make do if the situation demands, but her eyes will be set on a glitzy lifestyle. While describing her behavior in a crowd, I have mentioned that she likes to talk and is also an attention seeker. But I'd also like to add here that she is not a senseless talker, definitely not a chin-wagger. In spite of being outspoken and straightforward, read blunt, unless she is very comfortable with people around her, a Leo girl will be quite reserved. Her ego often stops her from breaking the ice. while she can also be reticent to open up until she has reached a stage of compatibility with people around her. She needs to be at ease and in command of the situation and people in hand. But don't let her initial reticence fool you. This lady is anything but shy. She's only sizing up the situation and waiting to get into the comfort zone before making her move. I think I have harped enough on Leo females' desire for materialistic pleasure. Let me add that every material comfort comes with a grandeur tag. Remember the lioness. Everything that she does, from her clothes to home decor, is done on a majestic scale. If you ask me, she scores a 10 on 10 for grandiosity, and if her bank balance permits her, her opulence would know no bounds. Another strong characteristic of her Leo woman is that she prefers admirers to friends. To a great extent, it is easy to get close to her via flattery and admiration. Also, as she always wants to be in control, she finds it easier to be around people who constantly agree with her. You will sometimes find her getting carried away with excessive praise and even thinking on the lines, "Who needs friends when there are followers?" But she is in no way stupid or shallow. A Leo woman knows how to make friends and respect them. She is aware that good friends are always around to hear her innermost thoughts and share her secrets. On her own part, if she learns to control her blunt tongue, she would indeed make a very good friend. A common trait that I've noticed in the 80% aggressive Leo female is arrogance or pride. Beauty, appearance, and popularity can make her think too highly of herself. A combination of arrogant attitude and acerbic speech can make her one haughty woman. Sometimes you will find a Leo girl taking too much pride in her wealth, either self-made or inherited. The only saving grace here is self-awareness, which instills a certain amount of humility in her. Like I mentioned before, a Leo female has innate leadership qualities. This can also be attributed to her desire to hold things at her command, situations and people alike. She is usually sure about what she wants and how to get it. Also, she is clever enough to use her personality to get things done, which makes her come across as a leader. On the flip side, a Leo woman can be very unforgiving and even vengeful. If you are ever involved in a tussle of any kind with her, be sure she will not rest until she has set the scores even with you. She is especially touchy about matters of the heart, and you can't ditch her in love and get away with it. This lioness will be on the prowl till she has had her revenge. But revenge or anger can never make her blind. She is shrewd and calculating and will not plunge into any aggressive action without weighing the pros and cons of it. She is catty enough to realize that if her adversary is someone powerful, financially, socially, or physically, she might as well bury the hatchet. Moreover, there's a marked difference between the way an inexperienced Leo girl behaves and the conduct of a mature Leo woman. Experience and maturity teaches her to be less self-centered and demanding. Once she learns how to cope with her desire to receive attention, she grows more generous and attentive towards her loved ones. And as life progresses, she also realizes that she has a natural charisma of attracting people and growing more subtle in her demand for attention. Her appearance and gait also complement her regal mien, and she commands respect like no other woman. Leo is one zodiac sign which is known for its boundless energy. Leo woman naturally endorses this gait. A Leo woman has natural fuel reservoir and is high on energy. You'll always find her leading a spirited, active, and cheerful life. She is warm towards her friends and loved ones, and her exuberance is seen through her spontaneity and creativity. With a Leo girl, you're sure to have a lively and fun-filled time. How is she on the following aspects? Appearance. As far as physical features go, I have already mentioned the prominent jawline. When it comes to dressing up, a Leo woman leads the pack. She has an original sense of style and an eye for new trends. She's quick to adapt to anything new on the fashion front, and she's not shy to imitate others. For example, if she sees another woman with a handbag or shoe that catches her fancy, she wouldn't hesitate in going and buying the same for herself. Another peculiarity that I have noticed in Leo females is there's a penchant for displaying their feline selves through their choices of clothing. You're likely to catch her in a leopard print outfit or sporting a tiger-striped handbag or scarf. Just like the Leo male, she too prefers black and white as her colors. Ambition. When Madonna sang, "I'm a material girl," she so meant it. Leo women are driven by their materialistic desires. It forms the very basic of their ambitious self. It's because of the need to fulfill these yearnings that a Leo female will excel in her chosen career. She would strive to reach the top and put in sincere efforts to be the best and make a mark in her field of work. But she'll also make a lot of noise on her way up so that people around her sit up and notice. However, to achieve these materialistic desires, some Leo women are quite likely to find a rich, good-looking man and marry him, an unfailingly get-rich-quick scheme. Ego and self-respect. I have observed that amongst all fire signs, Leo women have the loftiest ego and is equally high self-respect quotient. Interestingly, 6 out of every 10 Leo females I have met have admitted this too. The good part, however, is that if you're friends with a Leo girl, what you see is what you get. There are no behind-the-scenes surprises in store for you. Although I admit that I have observed a certain amount of hypocrisy too amongst Leo females, I would hasten to add that it is largely due to immaturity. As she matures and grows with experience, a Leo woman learns to curb her double standards and ego. Responsibility. A Leo woman wins, and I'm not using this verb lightly, an 8 out of 10 for responsibility. She's extremely responsible, especially towards her relationship roles. You will generally find her a dependable daughter and sibling, one who will grow up into a responsible person, who will put her family before her needs. Being a control freak, she'll find it easy to take charge and organize stuff. But she's incapable of dealing with stress and can crumble if cornered or put under pressure. Etiquettes. Almost 100% of Leo women are either born with or later in life learn impeccable and social etiquettes. Naturally, they expect the same from others. Everything she does has a touch of class to it. From dressing up for casual coffee date to donning an evening gown for a high-profile award function, you will never find her missing out on any point of decorum. As a mother, she ensures her children will have high standards of social propriety. While with others, she almost expects them to take a crash course in etiquettes before interacting with her. What is her approach towards life? Women belonging in the sun sign are powered by a buoyant attitude, fierce aggression, and with a dash of fun and frolic thrown in. Highly ambitious, a Leo woman would indulge in using her influence and charm unabashedly to acquire what her heart desires. She knows she can attract anyone she wants and uses this to her advantage, enjoying every bit of being in the limelight as she goes along. Often overbearing, her dominance is exhibited in the way she commands others, especially men, to do her bidding, with them complying to her wishes with delight. Impatient at times, especially when things aren't done her way. The lioness has a childlike quality to her. This comes to full bloom when she is engaged in activities that suit her fancy. She would readily agree to go on an expedition through the roughest of terrains or going dirt biking with her pack. She could also be a perfect woman, spending a nice lazy day by the beachside, romancing her man. Bright, undaunted by failures, Resilient and exuding positivity, the Leo woman handles life with a true bring-it-on attitude. How does she score on the following points? Cynicism. I would say 60% of Leo women are cynical, and this trait arises from their stubbornness. A Leo female is obstinate to the extent of being intractable when it comes to things she wants to have or do. If a mind is set on something, irrespective of whether it is positive or negative, she would commit herself to attaining it, and yes, any interference or contrary opinions are strictly prohibited. This habit is actually a weakness, and most Leo women are aware of it. But it is precisely because of this awareness that they are able to stop themselves from getting into difficult situations. Suspicion and jealousy. Being a fire sign, she is extremely passionate and possessive of the people she loves. The same extends to her immediate family as well as her material possessions. Given the minutest reasons to doubt, she can get extremely suspicious too. This lady scores full marks on jealousy. Be it personal relationships or professional success, she can go crazy with envy. She can't stand her man getting friendly with another woman, can't stand her colleague getting a promotion at work, would find it difficult to see her best friend tying the knot before her. Jealousy can turn this lioness into an alley cat. She can purr and claw like one too. So much so that she is likely to give you a tit-for-tat reply. For instance, when she is jealous, she'll try to make you also as jealous as possible. Dishonesty and infidelity. Honesty is dear to a Leo woman's heart. She is never dishonest herself and therefore finds it difficult, nay, almost impossible to accept deceit from others. That is almost non-bailable offense for her. Any kind of lies, fraud or deception can turn things nasty. If you've ever lied to your Leo girlfriend or wife and got caught, you know what I'm talking about. Like I stated before, a Leo woman is steadfast in her emotions. She is not casual about her relationships. Hence, if she is promiscuous, there has to be a good solid reason for it. She is high on energy and usually possesses an outgoing, extrovert nature. This makes her compatible with most people around her, especially men. And it is this compatibility that can lead her astray at times. But for a Leo girl, this attention only reassures her confidence. It does nothing to budge her love for you. Once she has surrendered herself, she will consider it below her dignity to cheat on you. An observation that I have made about Leo women and their Taurian counterpart is that as they grow older, they fancy younger men. Success and failure. Success for a Leo woman is something to be flaunted. Apart from the 20% passive kind of Leo females, the rest would exhibit their success stories in every possible way. Monetary success means a lot to a Leo woman. This goes back to her love for materialistic pleasures. She knows that to fulfill her desires, she needs money. Given her taste, it's loads of money. In most cases, failure equals to challenge for any fire sign, and the Leo is no exception. It becomes a matter of pride and integrity for a Leo woman to prove to themselves and to others that they can't fail. But if they do, they can sulk and spend days being miserable. Host. A Leo woman is passionate about most things, including being a host. No matter what her monetary status, she would make all efforts in laying out a grand spread. I'm not saying she would spend hours in the kitchen, as she's quite capable of ordering in. But a Leo woman enjoys creating the right ambience for her guests. Let me tell you a little bit about the Leo woman as a homemaker, and it'll give you a better idea of her as a host. Since she's a control freak, she likes to rule her house like a kingdom. She has great taste, sometimes an expensive one, and knows how to enliven her home. Also, given her interest in the minutest details about her house, she is likely to put in an extra efforts to make her social do an affair to remember. She'll be as charming as a host as she's efficient as a homemaker. Guest. As a guest, she'll observe everything, from crockery to cutlery, and from ambience to hospitality. She can also get terribly critical once she leaves the venue. However, this doesn't mean that she lacks compassion towards someone whose monetary status does not permit him to be flamboyant. It is not her arrogance or ego, but a superior taste that makes it difficult for her to step down from a high horse. How does she handle difficult situations? It takes a lot for a Leo woman to accept her fault in any given situation. She'll make every effort to argue or convince others of her innocence. Post-quarrels, you will find her sulking and waiting for you to apologize and mend things. Some Leo women are known to have temper issues, and only in rare cases would rationalize that. That too when in a calmer state of mind. Mostly they would be on their own trip, brooding and wondering what it takes so long to mend things. What is a characteristic weakness? I would say being over-blunt and overly critical. Very few Leo women know how to control their tongues or know when to shut up. This is something most of them realize from an early age, as this peculiarity in their nature often makes them lose out on friends. But since a Leo woman is aware of this flaw, she makes a constant endeavor to overcome it as she matures. The outspoken attitude will remain her chief fault lifelong, but she will eventually learn to limit its disastrous consequences. But since a Leo woman is aware of this flaw, she'll make a constant endeavor to overcome it as she matures. The outspoken attitude will remain her chief fault lifelong, but she'll eventually learn to limit its disastrous consequences. Is there more to this diva's persona? Here is one lady who is emotional and ego-sensitive too, and given all this knows the shortcomings of her nature. Dreamy and idealistic, Leo girls are not very realistic or very practical, but they surely know how to lead and have an innate talent of forging ahead and making way for others to follow. In her craze to grab a spotlight in the limelight, a Leo woman might miss out on many teeny-weeny details of life. She might tread ruthlessly upon sensitive feelings of her loved ones and often overlook the fact that her forthrightness might hurt someone. Although this is not intentional, it is an important aspect of her self-centered nature. This one loves to be pampered. Next to flattery and admiration, the one thing a Leo girl adores is being petted. This lioness will purr contentedly at your side if you pamper her with love, gifts, expensive ones of course, and attention. Be it her parents, friends or husband, she is likely to be the topmost priority for everyone. But that doesn't mean she is emotionally needy. Far from it. The Leo girl is fiercely independent. She is quite capable of taking care of herself in any given situation, but she needs to bask in the glory of everyone's attention. How should one deal effectively with a Leo woman? What she looks for is a gentleman. A Leo woman lays great stress on social etiquettes, graceful manners, and a caring attitude. Naturally, she wants to have a man to have all these attributes. Further, she also wants someone who's aggressive enough to dominate her, although not overtly. To effectively deal with a Leo woman, one needs to have a good deal of social decorum, an outspoken and honest nature, and the right dose of flattery. I repeat, flattery, my dear friends, is the key to this lady's heart. One of the most distinguishing characteristics is that a Leo woman possesses is a certain amount of humility. Due to this, she is able to understand and accept healthy criticism, making it easier for people to handle her. This stems from her ability to distinguish between a well-wisher and a casual friend. Another important aspect to be kept in mind while interacting with a Leo female is respect. She appreciates people who respect her for her intelligence and persona. Also, she likes to have a lot of space for herself and possesses an inherent need to be independent. She is extremely compatible with people who understand these basic needs of her personality. How does she handle money matters? A Leo female is quite casual with her money. Although nobody's fool, her compassion often makes her an easy victim to people who want to borrow, as she gets easily moved by tales of sorrow. One thing that a Leo woman knows very well about money is that it can buy material things and sometimes also happiness. With her extravagant taste and love for material things, it will be quite a task to restrain her, especially when she is on one of her innumerable shopping sprees. With her extravagant taste and love for material things, it would be quite a task to restrain her, especially when she is on one of her innumerable shopping sprees. Although everything about her, her home, her car, her appearance, will look stunning, she'll often shell out more money than called for to get the desired look. What she needs is a restraining hand that lets her spend on stuff she wants, but also teaches her the importance of savings. While Leo women are usually in a hurry to make money, they know how to maintain grace and tact in the process. How is she on the professional front? The Leo's innate ability to lead and motivate makes people born under this sign perfect for candidates for managerial roles. Since they don't appreciate being dominated or told what to do, Leo women often experience a bit of a problem when working in teams. However, if taken into confidence, the mature Leo woman would understand her role in being an efficient team member and contribute towards achieving set goals. The desire to be in the spotlight propels them towards professions that offer them space to exhibit their ability in full view. Not once to be content with working behind the scenes, one would often find Leo women drawn to the performing arts, especially singing and acting, which comes naturally to them. Vaijantimala, Sridevi, Melanie Griffith, Madonna, Whitney Houston. These are just a handful of names in the long list of Leo women who have created a niche for themselves in this field. With their friendly approach and ability to convince others, an inherent confidence, and offering full information in support of their cause, Leo woman also scores in sales and marketing jobs. How is she in various relationship roles? I have already expounded on her ability to take initiative as a homemaker and bring about a complete overhaul of her home to suit her taste. And home is one place where she gets to exercise her absolute authority. When it comes to her roles as a wife and a mother, the Leo woman lives by two golden rules: high standards and complete control. And when I say high, I mean really high. As I mentioned earlier, she wants her man to be a gentleman, and this is evident in her attitude towards her husband. In return, she'll be loyal, loving, caring towards her life partner. Moreover, she's not a hypocrite, so she'll ensure that the standards she seeks in others are present in her too. She also has the ability to be self-denying and unselfish, if need be, for her husband and family. If you ever come across over-pampered kids with a beautiful mother, chances are that she's a Leo. Leo women love to indulge their children. They will shower love and care on them with unmitigated generosity, at the same time expecting respect and obedience. A Leo woman will not accept any indiscipline in her children, and manners and etiquette will be the first lessons she will give them. How is she when alone? Unless she is spiritually inclined, a Leo woman will not prefer to be by herself. When left to her own devices, she would ponder over trivial issues and accumulate negative thoughts and energy. Only with a spiritual bent of mind can she direct her thoughts to higher things in life. Being attention seekers, Leo women like to be surrounded by people, and nothing pleases them more than to be the topic of discussion or center of attraction in a crowd. The only time a Leo woman would like to be alone is when she has to recharge her powers. Me time signifies a renewal of energy for the lioness, but a sabbatical is short-lived and she is usually back with a roar. How is she when in love? For a Leo woman, love can also be a ticket to success. She may scout for the most successful man to fall in love with. Details like being financially secure or high up on the social ladder matter to her, and her attitude towards love can be governed by these considerations. But in a bid to be monetarily secure, she will never go for the regular bird-brained brawny boys. To her, intellectual capability is as important. To sum it up, the Leo girl wants a partner to have everything, if not in goodly amounts, then at least proportionately proper. When in love with Leo girl, you also need to learn to manage her fragile ego. Although she is not forcefully dominating, the lioness can take matters in her hands if she finds that a man she is in love with is not manly enough. Whatever her shortcomings, a Leo woman is generally aware of them and therefore appreciates it if a partner manages her with patience and understanding. What does she look for in her partner? A Leo woman's fierce bid for independence is somewhat diluted when in love. You would see a much mellower version of her feline powers when courting her. Of course, she has a tendency to become impatient at times and loses her composure now and then, and therefore needs a partner who knows how to deal with her tantrums and a constant need for attention. This woman is possessive and likes a man to exhibit the same trait, but only in terms of being passionate without being overbearing. Nah, that's her department. With a very high sexual quotient, the lioness seeks a partner who is capable of satisfying her physical needs while providing her with emotional support, praise, and commitment she so desires. With a terrible covetous approach towards life, she would hunt for a partner who can make her special through open display of his emotions for her, showering her with gifts and compliments all throughout their relationships. With the Leo woman, the passion never ebbs out, and God forbid, if a partner lacks romance, she would soon end up feeling dejected, neglected, and unwanted. While dating her, you should match her standards for starters. She expects gentlemanly behavior from you, so don't think she'll be impressed with your cowboy acts and rugged looks. A Leo woman will come across as polished and stately and gracious, and she's still all that without doubt. But that doesn't mean she lacks depth. Her stateliness is not skin deep. It penetrates her mind and thought process as well. She's an intelligent woman and needs a man who understands her. She's always high on passion and energy, another typical fire sign trait. Therefore, she needs a cool person to balance her. More than dominating, she wants a partner who knows how to restrain her. There's something truly original about her, so if you're wooing her, make everything you do as original as you can, be it with gifts, compliments, or surprises. Trust me, your efforts will not go in vain. A Leo woman is also witty and loves to have a good laugh. Once you get to know her, and she is in the desired comfort zone with you, she'll floor you with her charm and wit. And eventually, when she falls in love, she'll also be generous with her affections and love, for this lioness has a warm and loving heart. With the Leo girl, the maxim, first impression is the last impression, holds true. She won't bother you with a second date if the first one doesn't satisfy her. Remember her fan following. If you're serious about seeing her a second time, make sure you hit the bull's-eye in your first date itself. Try and do something that would appeal to her aesthetic sense. Take her to a cultural event or a classic romantic movie. Add that extra touch of glamour to her usual date affair. such as taking her to a fine dining restaurant rather than a Chinese hangout, or give her a personalized scarf as a gift rather than the ever-present perfumed candles. Trust me, she would love these tiny details, and with that adoration in your eyes, it'll be enough to land you a second date with this amazing lady. Getting intimate with a Leo woman can be quite a task. For all her forthrightness and extrovert nature, the Leo girl is quite unsure about physical intimacy. This may be because either she prizes her beauty a bit too much and is afraid she might lose it, or because she thinks getting intimate may either end her chances of getting out of the relationship. Whatever her reasons, she would prefer extending the dating sessions. You may have to eat quite a few dinners and luncheons with her before she invites you over for that special cup of tea at home. But at the end of the day, when she turns to you for a relaxing hug, make sure you tell her how much you appreciate her love. Your appreciation forever will keep the fire of romance glowing within your Leo girl. Compatibility quotient. How to be compatible with a Leo woman. Be the ringmaster or play into her hands. You've got to have the passion to match her fervor and the mental stability to be her anchor. While a relationship with her might start off on a fun note, it would take a lot more to make it last in the long term. Let's see how compatible the Leo girl is with the men on the zodiac. Leo woman and Aries man. 6 on 10. These two can set the house on fire. Maybe literally two. So much has been talked about a Leo and Aries being a great combo, etc., but I beg to differ. Both are passionate, fiery and adventurous. While your mutual interests can strike the right chord, too much similarity can be a hindrance. More so because both have an unruly tongue and can be extremely stubborn, landing into stalemate situations often. If she finds the passive Aries man, she can dominate. Or if the passive Leo woman finds the aggressive Aries man, things could work out well. I strongly feel in the long run for fire signs, opposites attract and stick. Taurus man, 7 on 10. This combination can work wonders if both are able to tweak their personality traits a bit. He will have to be more understanding of her extrovert nature, and she'll have to be patient with his dominating attitude. But more often than not, Leo women get drawn towards Taurus men for their charm. Gemini men, 8 on 10. This Gemini is knowledgeable and good at conversation, while the Leo girl is beautiful, intelligent and witty. Something that he would appreciate. Once he learns to concentrate all his attentions on her rather than other women, this would be a great relationship. With a Cancer man, 8 on 10. The Leo girl can give the Cancer love, care and loyalty, but you need to understand his hypersensitive nature and control her tongue accordingly. As long as the Cancer man knows how to give her the space she needs, this can be a rocking relationship. Leo man, 6 on 10. This combination can go either ways. Both will have to understand that there's only one spotlight, and at a time it can be turned on only on one of them. If one of them learns to take the back seat, this relationship between the lions can work very well. Virgo man, 4 on 10. What might kickstart well may not last in the long run. The Virgo man doesn't have the answer to the Leo girl's constant need for attention. Moreover, she's not submissive enough to suit his needs. Libra man, 8 on 10. Again, a wonderful match. There will be romance, dance, and much more in this relationship. The Leo girl will appreciate the Libran's creativity and consistency, while in return, the Libran will shower her with attention and care. As an add-on, both are expressive about their emotions, something that will keep both quite satisfied. With the Scorpio man, 5 on 10. Here the passions can go astray. This relationship would require anger management on a large scale. Moreover, the Leo woman can get frivolous at times, and the Scorpio guy can leave her dissatisfied with his constrained love. Bossiness and impatience can both also lead to strife. But the right amounts of adjustment could make this work really well. Sagittarius man, 7 on 10. Fun-loving, cheerful, adventurous is the best way to describe this relationship. The Sagittarian, however, will have to learn to curb his flirtatiousness. Otherwise, the lioness can get hurt. Romance and chemistry between these two is likely to last in the long run. With the Capricorn Man, 6 on 10. They learn to make their disparity work for them. This can be a good combination. He should get used to her socializing and outgoing nature, and she should get along with his sedentary lifestyle. But on the bright side, he would appreciate her determination and willpower, while she would love his dependability. With an Aquarius Man, 6 on 10. With a few tactful moves, this relationship can be made to work wonderfully. The Leo girl will have to make the Aquarian feel committed, yet not tied down. On the other hand, he should give her ample warmth and care. With more understanding, this combination can go places, and there will never be a dull moment in this relationship. With a Pisces Man, 7 on 10. This relationship can work on the basis of opposites attract. He is bound to himself and lives in his own world, while she is a worldly person and loves to socialize. With true love and diligence, they can make this relationship work, and they definitely have romance and passion to help them. Famous Leo women personalities: Madonna, Jennifer Lopez, Sridevi, Manisha Koirala,